Hey there, welcome back. This is what we're going to be building today. It's a portfolio and you can customize it the way you want. Let's start by opening our VS Code. Mine is already open, and as you can see there is an empty folder. I called it portfolio, and in that empty folder we can create a new file. You can use this shortcut here, or you can create it from here, and that file we're going to call it index.html. Okay, creating, it's being created. Okay, here we go. And to start, you're going to be building the structure of the HTML5, and for that you can just type HTML and you'll see it will come up. You click on that, you already got the whole skeleton. We're going to start by changing the title, and I'm going to say just simple portfolio. And in that portfolio, actually we are going to divide it in three parts, and you can think of it as the header and another section and the footer. And for me, I'll start with the header. The header for me means the upper part, and down I'll have a section, one section. It will depend 1 to 3 sections, and at the end I'll have a footer. Yeah, actually that's how it's going to look like. And to start with it, let me just add an h1 here and give it a name of my portfolio. This is just to see how it's going to be displayed in the browser. And when I open up the browser, no, actually I have to go to my files, and my folder is here, and open this index.html. Oh, that looks great. My portfolio is being displayed right here. Actually that looks very good. And we can go back to our IDE, and if you don't know, IDE means Integrated Development Interface. And for this, I'll create a new file for the CSS, and if you want, you can create an inline CSS by doing this type style. And let's say you want to give this h1 a color property, and we say color, let's say aqua. Let's start by doing that and see how it's going to look like. And here we go. We refresh, and oh, the color of this one has changed. The color of the portfolio has changed. So I don't want to do this styling here in the HTML file so that it doesn't look weird. And for that, I'll create a new file, and I'll call it style.css. Okay, and here in my HTML, I'll have to import that by creating a link, and I'll say style. Oh, actually it's bringing it up here, style.css. That means whenever this index.html will open, it will be looking in that same folder and look for a style.css so that it applies all the styles. And here in my CSS file, I'll start by calling that h1 by its tag. So this h1, it's right here. This h1, I'm calling it in my CSS file, and I'm pretty doing the same thing I did before, and I'm going to give it a color, and I'll say aqua just to test if that works. So let's give it a try. I refresh. Oh, actually the color is still there. Oh, maybe let me try to change the color and see if it still works the same. And now if I go back and I refresh, the color has, okay, that means everything has been set up. So now I'm going to start a bit simpler. and just the header and give it a text. And now here I'm going to go back and say header. Since we have removed the h1, it's going to be header. We give a color, of red, and let's say just give it a background. Just give it a background. It's a background color. I don't know. Let's just pick any random color here, and again give it a try. Here we go. That works. Even if it looks weird, but it works. And now we see that around here there are some white spaces. There are unexpected white spaces. Why is that displaying like that? The answer is because the browser has a default margin, so that's why it's pushing the elements somehow down because of that default behavior. And to remove that, we'll start by adding here a body, and we say margin, we set it to 0. So let's give it a try and see if that works. And yeah, as you can see, now this one is at the beginning, the real beginning, because we have removed that margin. So let's go back to our code and we'll get rid of this, and actually we can still apply that styling. But now in our header, what are we going to have there? So let's first look at our project. So I'm considering this whole page, this whole visible part as our header. So here we have a nav bar, if I can call it like that. We have a nav bar, and we have a banner. I would like to call it a banner. So now we're going to divide our header into two parts. I'm going to say nav for the nav bar. Okay, that is already in our IDE, and I'm going to say another div. And this div, that's our banner. And in our header, we can apply it as an ordered list. Sorry, an ordered list, and we say we are going to add in some list items. Now you can do this and copy that, but it's a loss of time. And now what you can do, there is a shortcut. You just write down li times how many times do we want it. Let me look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now I'm going to say li times 5, then we hit enter. Okay, that looks good. And now in the first list item, I'm going to say about. The second, let me see, the second is resume, and the third is education. So let's go for resume and education. The fourth one, let me see. The fourth one is work, and the last one is contact me. Okay, so let's just add it. We're going to say work, and here it's contact me. So let's just see how it looks like right now, and we go back to refresh, and oh yeah, we got something. Right? Okay, now let's try to change this background color and set it to this. I think this is a khaki. Let's give it a try. And for this, I'm going to first give this nav bar, I'm going to give it a class. so that instead of referencing it as a nav, we are going to give it a class so that we reference it from that class. And to make it simple, I'm going to give it a class of navbar. Yeah, a class of navbar. So when I go to my CSS, I'll just, but to reference a class is a bit different from referencing a tag, an HTML tag. For the class, you have to put a dot, then you say dot navbar, so that CSS knows that this is a class. This is a class and not an HTML tag. And for that, we are going to say background to, I said it was a khaki, yeah, pretty sure it is. So when we come back and we refresh, oh, that looks great. That looks great. And for now, I'm going to say okay, I'm going to remove these dots here because they really look weird. And for that, to remove those dots, I'm going to go back and say, maybe now I want to access this unordered list. And for that, we can do it like this. You say just UL for unordered list, and you say list style, and you set it to none. Let's try to refresh. Yeah, now they have disappeared. That can work, but there is a problem. Let's say we have another unordered list, and now this style is going to apply to all unordered lists that are present on our page, and we don't want that, right? And for that, I'll start by calling a navbar, this class of navbar, and I'm saying what is going to happen behind the scenes. The HTML will come and see the navbar, this class, and it goes to the CSS, looks for everywhere where there is that navbar. Like here, it's navbar, so that the CSS will apply that background style to that element, to that reference. And now, what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to access this unordered list by referencing the parent element. That's why I'm saying we'll start by dot navbar. So here we have already referenced the parent element, and now to go to the child, we are going to use the tag, this unordered list UL tag, and say UL. So now what does this code means? It means it's going to look for this class, and when it finds the class is this whole nav here. This is the class. So it's going to look at the second element, it's the UL. So it's going to go to the navbar, to that element having the class of navbar, and look among the children, which children has that tag of UL. So let's give it a try. Let's give it a try and see if it works. And we refresh, yeah, it still works the same. It still works the same. But now, this is what we want. We want to have this beautiful navbar. For that, we have to align these items side by side. So how can we do that? I'll go back here to navbar and say we want to access this unordered lists and tiling to the whole unordered list. And for that, I'm going to say the color, I'm going to give a color of black, so that all the elements inside are colored in black. Also, I'm going to remove some padding, some default padding, and set it back to 0. Now I also set text align left. For that, let us see what is happening in our browser. Oh, right, they're aligned on the left and they're now black. And the next part is to display them on the same line. And for that, I'll have to access all the list items in the unordered list. So how am I going to do that? Okay, I think it's reasonable if we add here a class and we give it a property of links, so that when we are back in CSS, we'll just say links, we access the parent, then the list items, just as we did it here, right? And for that, I'm going to give them a display property of inline. So that is going to align them side by side, because by default they have a display of block, so each element is placed under the other. But now the display inline is going to put them side by side, and each element I'm going to give it a padding of 1 rem. And what is a padding? The padding is the space between an element and its surroundings. So I'm going to give a padding of 1 rem, and I'm going to give it a font size, maybe to give it a bit bigger size. And let's give this a try and see what is happening here. Oh, right. All right. That seems to be cool. We are approaching this, but we are not yet there. So for that, I'll go back to my VS Code and see what else I can do here. To have already given it a color, a padding, but now what we need to do next is for this whole navbar, I'm going to give it a display. I'm going to give it a display of inline block, so that if it has other elements around, they are aligned side by side, right? You get it. And I'll come back to my header because I want it to have a position of relative, so that if I'm to reposition its child, it be easy. And now I'm going to say text align, so that all the childs are aligned in the center. So let's see what's the output here. Oh, great. That looks fine, right? That looks fine. But now we are getting this color here. Why are we getting this color? Let's go back to our CSS and check. Oh, this is our whole header, because we gave it a background. We gave it a background of a shadow brown. That means this first part works just fine. This one, yeah, they look similar, right? All right. Now the second part, we're going to say, as we said here, this whole part is the header. So now we are going to give it a height, the whole space available on the screen. So now let's go back and see the header. Our header is here, and we're going to say header. We're going to give it a height. Now how can we give it a height so that it scales on the available space on the screen? And for that, we're going to say 100 VH, and VH means view height. That means the height of the screen. And let's give it a try to see if that really works. When we reload, yeah, we have the background on the whole available height and the whole width, because it has scaled and it has taken the whole space available on the screen. And now for that, we need to add this background, right? We need to put this background instead of this weird color. And for that, we are going to say, instead of saying background color, we are just going to say background, so that we can style the whole background. And here we can still add a color. Let me say we want to add a green. If you put that and you go back to your browser, it's going to work just fine. It's now green, but we don't want to put any color there. Instead, we want to put a, a picture as a background. And for that, we are going to set that URL that where that picture is, and I want to import that in my project so that we get it like right in our project. And yeah, this one I've already called it background. Now I'm going to copy that to paste it in my project here. I'll just paste it. Alright, now it's available in my project. Let me go back to my IDE. And alright, there is a background.jpg there. And for that, I'll say in the same folder, it has already displayed everything that is in the same folder. Now I'm going to say background.jpg. And I'll say no repeat, because I don't want that background to be repeated if it doesn't fill the whole space. I'm going to say background size, background size. I'm going to say that to cover, so that that image covers the whole available space. So let's give a try and see if it really works. Fine, that works. We are really getting closer into it. That works just fine. Now the next step is, let me see, is to display this my like, hi, I'm Malikim, full stack engineer, one line of code, one solution. I really like that. Also to display these social media platforms and this arrow down. Okay, let's go back, and that should be away from that nav bar. And I'm going to put a section, and let me say that section, I'm going to give it an H1 so that it becomes bigger. So I'm say hi. Here we go. We are seeing it in a red color, but why are we seeing the red color? I'll go back. If we check our CSS, oh, we gave the whole header a color red. Let's just give it a default color of that. Okay, that's not the white I want. Just let me type let me type it manually and say white. Okay, now if I go back and I refresh, yeah, that looks great. Hi, I'm Kim, full stack engineer. And now what I'm going to do next is the way it is here. You see, this is bigger than what we have here, and it's down. This one is displayed down. That's what we're going to work on next. So I'm going to say here index, no, h1, and we may give this whole section, this whole section, we give it a class, and we can call it, I don't know, description, and the name is up to you, but let me call it description, so that when I go back here, I say class of description, and I would like to give it a padding so that it goes down. And with that, I'll say padding top, padding top, and I'm going to set that to, let me say, 30%. Now it's going to be 30% down according to this parent element. Where's the parent element? The parent element is this header. The header is the parent element. So let's see if that really worked. And here we go. It's now here, it's down, but it's not where I want it. Or maybe I can say it's going to be 30 view height. That means this one, the whole page is 100 view height. If I set it to 30 view height, it's going to be somewhere here. Okay, let's give it a try. I'll say 30 view height. And if we refresh, yeah, exactly, it's there. Now what we need to do is to make it the text a bit bigger. And for that, I'm going to say class description, the parent element, then I access the child. Remember how we did it like here. I'm going to say description, then h1. And that h1 is going to have font size. It's a font size of 5 rem. And if we give that a try, okay, that looks great. And now what I need to do is to push it a bit up. So for that, I guess you know what you're going to do to reduce on this and set it maybe to 27. So let's try. Actually, I think I'll push it up to 25. 25. And now, yeah, that works for me. So let's see at our project. Okay. All right. Now this one is a bit smaller than this one. So for that, we'll go back to our project, and maybe if you want to change this color, we're going to give it an tag of span. So we want to span it so that we access it easily. Now put it here, and now I'm going to give it a class so that I can access it easily. I'll give it a class of name because that's what it is, right? That's my name. And name, I'm going to give it a class. I'm going to say name, and so I'm going to give it a color. It was a khaki, I think. Yeah, I'm going to give it a color of khaki, and I'm going to give it a font size because it's bigger than the rest of the sentence. And I'm going to say font size. Let me set it to 5 rem. And if I go back, go to our project, we're almost there, but it's still small. We're almost there. Maybe if I give it a height of 6 rem, you get a height of 6 rem. And if we refresh, yeah, we are there. And that's fine up until this point. And what else can we do? Oh, this full stack engineer, that's smaller than this one. So what we're going to do is to access Where is it? It's a p tag, so I can access it by its parent. You know what I'm saying? So be description p. But a better way to do that is to give it a class, because we can have another p tag in the description. But for now, we assume that we won't have any. And for that, I'll say font size. Maybe I'll give it a font size of 3 rem. Let's see if that works. Okay, this is not our project. Our project is here. Okay, no, that's bigger than what we are supposed to have. Okay, maybe I may say 2 rem, 2. And here we go. Yeah, I think it's that one. And what you have to do is pushing this text a bit up, because as you can see, that one is up, so we have to do the same here and reduce on this padding top maybe to 22 view height, and that's it. Yeah, that's it. Now that's it. And this K, I have to put it in capital right here. So let's do it quick. Yeah, it's here. I'm going to put it in capital later. So we are done with that part. What we can do is create a new. We can create another div for all the social media links, and as you know, all the social media links, there, how we can put them. Let me see. We can put them in anchor tags. Let's try to put them in anchor tags and see what's happening here. And as I told you, you just put the tag a times therefore. And okay, that look good. And for now, we are just going to output their names. There we have GitHub. Let me split them so that you see clearly what is happening here. GitHub. We have Instagram and Twitter. Those are the 4 that we have up until this point. And now I refresh. Yeah, you see them here. They're here: GitHub, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And let's give them a white color. And we're going to say maybe we put social links. Okay, this is actually a class. And we'll give them a class of social links, because they are links, right? They are links. And let's try to style that one. For that, we're going to say social links, and for each link, we are going to give it a margin to the space around each link. We're going to say 1 rem. So let's give it a try and see if that works. We refresh. Yeah, actually it's cool. We're having some space. And now here we have some icons. Where do we get those icons from? And for that, I'll use Bootstrap icons. You can go on internet and search for Bootstrap icons, click on that link, and now we scroll down. You'll see a couple of links there. I mean, a couple of icons, and you can use the one you want. but what I'm interested in, it's right here, and you're going to see it, the docs. You have to go to the docs to see how to use it. And for that, here's the CSS, but mine I'm going to put it right into the CSS and not, okay, actually let me put it in the HTML. So for that, you're going to copy this code and put it in our HTML file, just down the title, and here we go. That's our Bootstrap icons imported. And for that, we're going to say I, and we're going to give it a class. So how to use those, I quickly show you how we use them. You're going to say bi, and you give it a name, the real name that is on GitHub. And like here, for this first one, I'm going to say GitHub, and that's the GitHub icons. And if we refresh, actually it has disappeared. That means we wrote it in the wrong way. So now let me just quickly go back here and see how we do it. And I don't know why it's misbehaving, but I've removed my my CSS from here, and I'm going to import it in CSS. So let's give it a try again and see if that works. Yeah, it's already here. All right, great. And if we move forward, I'm just going to copy this, and I'll paste it everywhere around this source. It's going to be Facebook. And if you wonder how I'm getting those names, you just go on Bootstrap icons, and they're going to show you all the names. And it's going to be Twitter. And the last one, I'm going to put here Instagram. Yeah, this is Instagram. Now refresh. Yeah, looks fine. So let's compare it to what we have here. And now, yeah, it looks pretty the same, though I have to make them big and change those colors because actually they look weird. For now, I'm going to style them. And give them a color. This is Facebook. Facebook has some blue. I really don't know where is it, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to find it. Yeah, it's that one, I think. And apart from that, we are going to add some other styling. This is Twitter. Twitter has a color, something like that aqua, but no, it's not that one. It's something like this color, yeah, I think. And the last one, that is Instagram. We're just going to give it some red, but not this red. Now let's look for, okay, let's try that one. And we have to make them a bit bigger. For that, I'm going to access them from their parent. Yeah, and they're already here. To give a font size. one rem, and see how that is going to work, right? Now if we refresh, they're still small, but they look just cool. And now I'm going to say maybe 1.5 rem, 1.5. Let's give that a try. Yeah, that's it. Now we have to reduce on this margin. Let me put like 0.7. See how that looks like. Yeah, that's it. I got it. That's it. But we forgot one thing, is this code. One line of code, one solution. And for that, I'll implement it here. Before the social links, I'm going to put a code that is default made here. It's one line of code. I really like that one. one line of code, one solution. Let's give it a try and see. Okay. Oh, that's not how our project is here. We refresh and it's there. Okay, it seems to work, though it's not. These links are not really where they're supposed to be, and for that I'll quickly add a tag that is by default in HTML. It's an HTML, that is the break tag, and I'm going to add it like 3 times so that we get more and more space. So let's give it a try. Here, refresh. Okay, that look great, right? Yeah, that looks great. And now the last step is this. Okay, let me first close this file so that you see. Let me close some files here so that you see what I'm really talking about. Yeah, it's here. This arrow down button. And to add that, we are still going to use Bootstrap icons, and we are going to add another. Okay, actually we can add it like here. No, let's give it a new section, and I'll just copy this and now paste it here. Now instead of GitHub, it's going to be arrow down circle fill. Yeah, I think it's that one. So let's try and see if it will appear somewhere. Our project is here, and yes, it's here, but so small, and I'll work on that in a second. We'll give that section a class. Let's give it a class of arrow down, and for that, this whole element, the whole nav, let's see the display, the whole header. Yeah, the position is relative, so here we can put an absolute for the child, and that is arrow called, how do you call it? It's arrow down. For arrow down, I'm going to say position absolute, so that we give it an absolute position, and I'm going to say left 48% of the whole header. That way it's going to be positioned from the left. Now from the top I'll say maybe 90%. And the font size, to give the font size maybe of 2 rep. the color. I don't want it to be black, right? Yeah, color of this aqua. So now we are here. We refresh. Okay, that looks good, but we really don't want that to be like that. I want it to be a bit bigger than that. And for that, I'll say font size 3 rem. Yeah. And this one is supposed to be a link, and I'll explain why later. But it's supposed to be a link. And for now, let me grab this one, put it inside. And for now, this link should go to slash, should just go to nowhere. But I'll change that in the next lecture. Oh, great, that looks really great. Right. But now the next step is to, let me see, to change maybe the color. The next step is maybe to change that color of, let's first change this color to another one, and maybe we'll say, let me see, yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's that one. I think let's give another try. Yeah, no, let's refresh. Okay, I think I'll have to work on that to make this color instead of. Another step is to make this font. You see, it's a bit different from this one. And now to do that, we are going to use Google Fonts, and you can go to W3 Schools, like when I'm here right now. You can go to W3 Schools, like here. And by the way, W3 Schools is one of the best online platforms where you can start your journey into programming for free. And now, when you go down here, yeah, actually we're going to use Sophia font. So now what we can do, we can get this link. Yeah, we copy and we go back to our CSS, and we're going to import it in this way. So at import URL, and yeah, that's it. And now how are we going to use it? First of all, you have to see where we're going to use it. It's on each list item. So here I'll say font family, and I'll put that Sophia. Now, if you want to use another one, you just need to change this, like after this equal sign, that's the font you are going to use. So let's go back to our browser and refresh. Great. That looks really nice, right? That looks nice, and I think we are done with this header, with the header section. We are done. Now let's jump right into the second part of this build. Don't forget to share my video, to like, comment, and subscribe so that you don't miss the second part. I'll see you then. Peace.